weather says that's going to dry up by the end of the day, becoming breezy, though, with a high of 44 by afternoon. And then tonight, it'll clear up, gradually clearing at least, with a low near 30 degrees. Tomorrow, bright sunshine, breezy and quite chilly with a high of 42 degrees on into the weekend. Sunday's supposed to be decent. Plenty of sunshine, pleasant for early February, with a high of 46 degrees. And then as we get on back into things, Monday, mostly sunny, with a high of 43. We're at 43 right now in Central Park. Good afternoon, I'm Larry Mullins. Wednesday's time at the Tone, 3:30.
Good afternoon, I'm Lori Madden. The NYPD subway robot has been unplugged.
Drop the gun, you are under arrest.
He couldn't actually speak like Robocop or walk around or drive a patrol car. That's not clear what it could do beyond video surveillance. Good riddance. Outside the city has ended its 4-month pilot program.
Important towns can't go up or down the stairs. It just never made any sense.
Mayor announced the robot to much fanfare, saying it will save money. While others are skeptical.
You can say that the robot itself is $9 an hour, but then what are you paying the NYPD officers to babysit it?
There's no indication from police that the robot will be brought back. Roger Stearns and News on 92.3 FM.
3:31. Time for traffic and transit. Here is Greg Rice.
Well, the southbound side of the FDR Drive, we just can't seem to solve this issue. Southbound FDR at East 96, we still have the left lane out with a crash, and this mess goes all the way on back towards the RFK Bridge. Northbound side, also slow from the 20s getting into this area, and this has been going on the FDR Drive for quite some time at this point. First got word of this early in the 2 o'clock hour, so over an hour with this mess on the FDR. The belt's been a problem in Queens longer than that. Eastbound Belt Parkway getting out to Sunrise Highway, they finally, after about 2.5 hours, got rid of a breakdown from the middle lane, but the damage, that's still there all the way back towards the Van Wyck. And in Brooklyn, the Belt Parkway, what else can go wrong? You've got the left lane out on the eastbound side of the Belt at Bay 83 as the fire department tends to an accident, and then eastbound Belt getting over to Cross Bay Boulevard, a crash, slowing you down from Flatbush Avenue. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound Brooklyn Bridge, a crash in the right lane. Brooklyn bound is a mess. Take the Manhattan Bridge instead. Citybound George, a few more on the upper than the lower. Out of town, out of the Bronx to Henry Hudson. Out of Manhattan, the Avenue Street to the fast. Lincoln and Holland, no more than 10 minutes yet either way. Traffic is sponsored by Plaza Jewish Community Chapel. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
We at Plaza Jewish Community Chapel would like to remind you that candle lighting is at 4:56 this afternoon. Good Shabbos and Shabbat Shalom. Now the AccuWeather 48 forecast. Here is meteorologist Carrie Schwindenhammer.
Well, we're almost done with the light rain and drizzle in the city itself, but Long Island, Jersey Shore, still dealing with some of that dampness here as we head through the afternoon. We'll partially clear things out tonight, brisk and cold, down to 26 in some of the northwest suburbs, 32 in the city. Real feel temperatures, by the way, could be near 20 by dawn. Breezy and chilly for tomorrow. Some sunshine, though, the high 42. Clear tomorrow night with a low of 32. Some of the distant inland suburbs could be in the low 20s. Then lots of sunshine for Sunday and Monday. Sunday looks like a beautiful day, 46 for a high. And we're up to 43 on Monday, again, with lots of sunshine. 43 and cloudy with pockets of light rain and drizzle. Still humidity 73%, and the wind north at 12 miles an hour. It's 43, going down to 32 in Midtown. On AccuWeather's Carrie Schwindenhammer on New York's weather station 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Jackson Hewitt offers you your biggest refund.
Are now on the radar of federal prosecutors.
The Southern District of New York is investigating former pro wrestling executive Vince McMahon, who stepped down from WWE's parent company after a former employee in a lawsuit accused him of psychological torture and physical violence. McMahon's denied wrongdoing in his dealings with Janelle Grant. His attorney and a WWE spokesman did not respond to ABC's request for comment.
Correspondent Brian Clark, Wednesdays at 3:34. If you're drowning in medical debt and you're a Connecticut resident, you might be eligible to have that debt erased.
The new initiative will eliminate more than $1 billion in medical debt for Connecticut residents. Governor Ned Lamont telling ABC News that many are saddled with huge medical bills through no fault of their own.
This is not something they did because they were spending
$380,000. That agreement was signed by an advisor who had helped bring the teen over from Argentina, and the agent who helped broker the deal, he's the one selling it. It hits the block in March. In addition to AccuWeather's forecast today, we got another forecast.
Groundhog Day, February 2nd, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and the annual ritual with Phil the Groundhog.
Glad tidings on this Groundhog Day! An early spring is on the way!
His handlers say Phil did not see his shadow. A federal agency took a look at his record last year and put the accuracy rate of this tongue-in-cheek event at about 40%.
Correspondent Steve Kathan, 43 degrees, the clouds starting to move out now. Clear skies tonight, we are going down to 32. Winds news time, 3:36. Jack McCoy presiding over his final case. 10-10 Winds, entertainment is next.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog. Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic, but there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packed portions for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson, hell yeah!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson, hell yeah!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life.
Hell yeah!
And you can get it online. Go to him.com/joy. Into one single reduced payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited debt relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free. In just 24 to 48 months, they've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans stop working to pay off more than $3 billion. Earning an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau. Accredited debt relief is $100 to pay you won't sacrifice any financial situation. So call our accredited debt relief now for your financial all the time on 92.3 FM.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 43 degrees at 3:40. I'm Lori Madden, and here's what's happening. One person is dead after a of floor collapses in a Borough Park building that's facing questions about a permit or lack thereof. We have a live report coming up in a moment from our Astrid Martinez, who's on the scene. The FDNY looking to cut through traffic and cut its response times with the help of AI. Police are hoping someone recognizes the suspects wanted for a string of violent muggings in Jackson Heights and Corona. Before you know it, the weather will be warming up for outdoor dining, and the city has finalized new rules for restaurants. If you want to get back at your ex, you can do it Diana style. The Crown auctioning off its version of Diana's revenge dress. On Wall Street this afternoon, the Dow is surging. It's up more than 200 points. The NASDAQ is up more than 275. Wednesday time, 3:41. Time for traffic and transit from the Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com Traffic Center. Here's Greg Rice.
Now, Lori, I don't know what's in the water in Queens today, but this isn't good. Yet again, similar spot. Eastbound BQE getting up towards Queens Boulevard. Similar spot, but a new trouble issue. Eastbound BQE and Queens Boulevard. You got the left lane out with an accident and a mess all the way on back towards Brooklyn. And really all the way back to Tillery Street on the eastbound BQE. It's one long slog up to Queens and Queens Boulevard until you get past that crash. Now the belt, Brooklyn, eastbound over at Cross Bay Boulevard with a crash and a mess from Flatbush Avenue. Westbound slows from right off of the Flatbush Avenue area over to the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. And speaking of which, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Brooklyn Bridge is still an absolute parking lot in either direction. The Manhattan Bridge is going to treat you a whole lot better. Citybound side of the George Washington Bridge, extra few on the upper, lowers better. West side, the best of what you've got out of Manhattan, South End, Henry Hudson, your winner from the Bronx. Inbound Lincoln's an extra 10 minutes. Outbound Lincoln is still in pretty good shape. Outbound Holland, no more than 15. But the outbound covered roadway and inbound Skyway, they're starting to slow down. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
One person is dead after a floor collapse at a building in Borough Park, which is facing questions about just what was going on construction-wise. For more on this developing story, let's go live to Brooklyn and 1010 Wins reporter Astrid Martinez.
Lori, good afternoon. A devastating incident here at 1266 50th Street in Borough Park, Brooklyn. NYPD said when they arrived to the two-story home shortly after 12 this afternoon, they confirmed that there were 3 people working in the cellar area of the structure. The basement floor of the building, which was covered in scaffolding, suddenly caved in, and a man in his 30s was found dead underneath the debris. His identity has not yet been revealed. Now, the Department of Buildings has a partial stop work order here from back in late December. Inspectors came back to the site on January 4th and were able to see excavation still being done at that time without permits. So in addition to that stop work order, DOB issued a violation to the property owner for the illegal work performed without permits. Inspector said that the only work allowed at the site was to make the area safe, but that was clearly violated. Officials are looking into criminal or civil charges for the owner of the building. It is not clear yet what led to the collapse of the building. Astrid Martinez, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM, live in Borough Park, Brooklyn.
Wednesday time, 3:44. The FDNY is hoping that artificial intelligence will help reduce its response times. Fire Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh says the department is teaming up with NYU's Camden School of Engineering's Transportation Center, which is called C2 Smarter, to make all this happen. The understanding of how much more traffic is here with traffic bills with robbed around 9:30 p.m. on 41st Avenue near Warren Street. One suspect pushed the man against the door while the other took out a knife and stole his property. 43 degrees now, cloudy. We are going down to 32 this evening. Wednesday time 3:46.
Hi, I'm PJ Vogt, here to tell you about my new podcast, Search Engine. On Search Engine, we tackle the kinds of questions that keep you up at night, like why are drug dealers putting fentanyl in everything? Should we be worried that Elon Musk